curious because I'm a violinist,
and
there are no, other than the piano trio, there's
nothing
for the violin.
I know.
But there's so many great pieces
for the cello. Well, I feel like the cello's voice is almost synonymous with Chopin's voice, because Chopin, while he had a prodigious technique, was never a big, bombastic, virtuosic player like Liszt was, which is why he never really made it when he went to Vienna, and why, when he went to Paris, that was when his career really kind of grew, because in Paris, it was very popular at that time for the salon concerts, which are so much more intimate, and so there's more of a sort of soulful connection between the audience and the player in those salons. And Chopin's music is so much like that as well. It is so vulnerable and so intimate. You really feel that you almost should avert your eyes, sometimes from the music, because it's so vulnerable, it's so intimate, it's so naked, and I think that the cello's voice is very similar to that, and so I think it works extraordinarily well. In fact, this weekend I was playing just an entire recital full of the transcriptions, and they're done by all kinds of different people, from Paderewski to Glazunov to David Popper to Davidoff, and but all of them, like, it's funny because the pianist had never done any of these transcriptions, and she was saying, wow, it's amazing. It's like it was written for the cello. I mean, because those lines, he wrote them so beautifully down low in there too, and I think that there's something that is sort of fragile. Funny enough, even though the cello is so big, there is something sort of there's something very human about the voice of the cello. Every note is within the human voice range. And often, I remember Rudolf Serkin saying to me at Marlborough when I was a kid, we were playing the Schubert-Traut quintet, and he said to me when we were doing the variation movement, the violin has this really sort of fun, sort of humorous, and the piano one is very virtuosic, and the bass is sort of like this gruff old man, and then all of a sudden the cello comes in, and it's so beautiful. And we were reading through it, and I finished, and I looked at Serkin and went, whoa, and he goes, I know, you're very lucky. Often when a composer wants to give his most heartfelt statement of the theme, he'll give it to the cello, because he knows it goes directly to the human heart. And I think that that's how Chopin's music also, it goes directly to our human heart. There's no artifice. It's very naked and so human. You hear the human fragility and weakness of the human, our weaknesses, our foibles, are what makes him so beautiful in many ways. And so I think that the cello's voice is just perfect for that. So it's really, I know we're lucky because we have a real trove of original pieces, and then also transcriptions that are so stunning that I just discovered one that I had never heard before, that I just couldn't believe how shockingly romantic. It's almost unhealthy how romantic it is. It's just so beautiful. And I was so in love with it. I played it over the phone to my dad. I said, Dad, guess who the composer of this piece is? Because I thought, he's never going to guess. It's just it sounds like it was written for the cello. And it sounds so, it's just like, it's almost improvisatory, and it's this. And so I played for my dad. He was like, I think it's late romantic. I think written in like 1910 or 11. I was like, really? It's so specific? I was like, wow. I was like, no. And then he was like, I just don't know. I don't know. He said, it's gorgeous. And I was like, well, okay, I'll tell you, give you a hint. It's a transcription of a piano piece. And he goes, well, it can't be Chopin. And I said, it is. And he was like, oh my God, I've got to get the music for it. It's so gorgeous. So it's going to be fun to play the Chopin Sonata with Robert. Yeah. And we're going to add, actually, I think this etude as well, because I was just going on and on about it on the computer a couple days ago on Facebook, and I was like, hey, you want to do it? And he was like, oh, okay, sure. And then Odin was like, stop swooning on you guys.